Well, hi folks, welcome back to my channel. I am the RV Wingman, and today I'm going to give a little bit of solicited advice. I received an email from a gentleman who lives up in Ontario, Canada, named Mark, and it is not specifically related to RVing, but it could be. There are a lot of people who are full-time in their sticks and bricks who are thinking about packing it up, selling everything, and living full-time in an RV, or relocating to another place that's far, far away from where you have resided. And I'm going to give my thoughts and a little bit of perspective. Not that I have all the answers, but hopefully you can help Mark figure out what is the best approach for him to take because he's considering moving. So kind of calling this video, roots and life-changing decisions. This is also sort of in response to a video I did just recently, and I quoted an old philosopher named Epictetus, and he said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." It's impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. If you think about that, I think it is so profound. And Mark, you seeking advice, and you need to seek advice from a lot of people, not just from me, but shows that you are willing, you're open. You don't have all the answers, so you are willing to learn, and the first step to learning is being open and listening. So, I'm going to read most of Mark's email to me, and then I'm going to respond, but I want to know what advice you would give to him, so make sure you drop it in the comments down below. We may disagree, you and I. We often do, I'm sure. But if you hear some things that I forget, I don't mention, or that you want to push back on, feel free to do so. It says, "Wingman, I love watching your videos and find them interesting. I had a trailer in a park here in Ontario, Canada, sold it in June of 25. One of the reasons is so I could move out to British Columbia in a year's time." If you've never been to Canada, Ontario is straight up north. It's above the Great Lakes area, if you will. And British Columbia is way off to the left, way to the west. And while much of Canada is some gorgeous country, I have never been to a place that's any more beautiful than British Columbia. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. So he's thinking he could move out to British Columbia in about a year. It says, "My son was promoted, which resulted in him moving to British Columbia, and which is what he wanted after several investigative trips. We went to see him this past August to see the lay of the land. I have never been out there before. I'll be 65 in August of next year." And so he's probably in the demographic of most of us that are watching this channel. And so many of you may be in this similar situation. So he's going to be 65 next year in August. The son is strongly recommending the dad to retire out there to enjoy his retirement. "I did love what I experienced. I live in Ontario, been here all my life, been driving a bus for the city for 24 years. He says it's time to get out of the rat race and move to British Columbia. I'm struggling with mixed emotions." I say that's good. Struggle is good. It means you're patient, you're thinking, you're pondering, and thinking are both really, really good things to do. But it says, "But I'm afraid of change at my age. My son's doing very well. He's smart and doing extremely well. He's 27 years old, and I'm taking advice off of him now like the tables have turned. I don't have an RV anymore, but I continue to watch your show for life lessons," which thank you very much for that. "What are your thoughts on my situation? I respect your opinions and thoughts. I know you're a busy man, but love to hear from you." That is Mark in Ontario, Canada. So if you were in Mark's shoes, what would you tell him to do? His son wants him to move out to BC. He has been out there, loves it. Who wouldn't love British Columbia? I mean, it's one of the most beautiful places in the whole wide world. But he's very guarded, very concerned about if he wants to move. What would you do? So I'm going to give you some thoughts, Mark, and for you folks who are thinking about buying an RV, we're going to sell everything. I watch these people on YouTube that are full-time RVers. They sold it all, and they're happy in their RV. And I would say, well, good for them, seriously, because many people are very happy that they've done that, made that big decision. But it's a life-changing decision, isn't it? I mean, how do you go back after you sell everything? This guy's been there in his house, it sounds like his entire life. And how's he going to go back if he sells everything? If he doesn't like it? So what I'm going to say, I'm going to give you some things to just consider, Mark, that aren't the most fun things to think about, but I think that they're worth consideration. Not to have you change your mind. See, I don't have all the answers. None of us have all the answers. Nobody. We'd like the answers. And hopefully the answer is really easy to do. But if I can help point you in a direction, at least put you in a direction where you're not going to make as many mistakes, I think that I've done a pretty good job and a good deed. So here are some things that I think I would consider. When you move to a new place, you're going to lose your identity. You have to start all over. And while you're familiar with the sound of your ceiling fan or the neighbors and the traffic in the neighborhood, you are going to experience a loss of that. And you may say, well, that's no big deal. Well, you don't know that for sure. The bottom line of this, and I'm going to go into some depth on some things that you may have not considered, but the bottom line is if you don't have to sell everything, don't. Relocate for a year. Stay out there. Don't come back to Ontario. Go out there and spend the time. Learn the lay of the land. Learn the culture, if you will, there in British Columbia. It's going to be different. It is. You're going to come up with some things that you don't like in a year. I promise you, no matter where you move, you're going to go, oh, I wish they didn't have so much of this, or wish they had more of that. You have to be there long enough to understand where you're moving from. And the problem is, in that year, if you've sold everything, you're going to start having your heartstrings, or it's going to start pulling on you. The place that you lived in for all those years, those memories. And you may think at this moment, no, they won't. I'm done with all that. I don't know. I think about, for me, my swimming pool would miss me. It would. My air conditioner that I have to tinker with every summer, multiple times every summer, I'll spend a fortune with some repair guy. My air conditioner would miss me. And you know what? I would miss them because those are projects that keep me busy, that give me a sense of joy. I hate them, but they give me a sense of joy when I've done something that's difficult and I've succeeded in that. If you don't have a purpose, Mark, and I'm not talking down to you, but if you have a purpose in your life, you are probably a happy man. We all need a purpose, whether it's me fixing my swimming pool, the damn air conditioner, or whatever. If you have a purpose, a hobby, when you are giving to other people, there is something about that giving process that makes us happy. So if you don't have a purpose, and a lot of people don't, they're going to move out to a new place, and if you don't have a purpose here and you don't have a purpose there, that ain't going to make you happy. Meeting new people is not going to be as easy as you think. I did not bring my phone with me here to do this video. But if you're going to move to a new place, my suggestion is get away from technology as best you can. Look people in the eye. Meet them the old-fashioned way. Don't be hooked on this thing and scrolling because you're not going to make any roots and real memories like that. Go out, visit with people, join a church, go to a senior center or whatever. Be involved. Have a purpose. If the purpose is a hobby, you want to play golf, go play golf. But do something with passion and with purpose. You're going to have to get a whole new set of doctors. You have to buy your pharmaceuticals someplace else. You're going to have to go through all those changes, and they may seem like no big deal to you, but I promise you, they're going to be a whole lot harder and take more time and be more frustrating than you probably think they're going to be. So if you can hold off on making the final decision, if you can make half of a decision, go out there, try it. You say that your son is smart, and you've said he's super successful and he's young. And all that stuff is great. Something to be proud of, Mark. It is. But you've got something that he doesn't. And he's not going to have it for a long time. But you do. You've got wisdom. And that came with time and experience. When we are young, I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think that We only know what we know, like Epictetus. We're only willing to learn if we know we don't know something. I've got a daughter that I try to talk to. I know, Dad. I know. And I'm thinking she knows what she knows, but she has no clue what she's getting ready to learn. And that's the way it is with most people, especially young people. So while I am proud, excited for you that your son wants to spend time with you, because there's nothing better than that. Having a child that loves you, that says, Dad, I want to spend the rest of your life and our lives together. That's awesome. Being measured and being a little bit concerned is a good thing. And by the way, I did write Mark back and I said, Mark, what a great honor it is. You know, I am humbled that you would write to me and ask for my opinion. I don't know. I have a yearning to live in the mountains. I live in Texas. There ain't no mountains where I live. I love it. Every time we go to the mountains, I want to escape forever, I feel, to the mountains of New Mexico. Just get away. Few people. Lots of trees and mountains, quiet spaces. And when we go out there every year, I love it. And that fantasy lives in my head. But I know it's just a fantasy. It's that way with RVs, isn't it? Most of us have this fantasy. We want to buy an RV. We want to buy that fifth wheel of the motorhome or whatever and experience freedom and adventure and all those great places. And all that's fine. But don't cut off where you've been living your whole life unless you're 100% certain, because it's hard to go back. You are going to find that making friends is not going to be as easy as you may want it to be. And I think we all need friends. There are social situations that are going to be different out there in British Columbia than they are there in Ontario. Finding a purpose, it's so important. I think a lot of people, when they move, they have that shock of downsizing. They've got rid of a bunch of stuff, and that's easier said than done, but it is freeing. Whenever I dump out my garage, I think I feel a lot better after the whole job is done. But then for some reason, I start collecting more crap. The healthcare community is going to be different. The neighbors are going to be different. The scenery, you know all the good stuff, you do. But maybe you and your son living together, not maybe under the same roof, but seeing each other all the time is not going to be as wonderful as you hope it's going to be. You don't know. I hope it is, but it may not be. So, you know, as I'm talking about this, it reminds me of what Teddy Roosevelt said about decisions. In fact, I got it written down here. Teddy Roosevelt said something like, I thought I had it written down. He said, in any moment of decision, the best decision is always the right decision. The second best decision is the wrong decision. And the worst decision is not doing anything. It's indecision. So I guess what I'm saying is I would decide to stay in between. I would not sell everything unless you are 100% committed and you are willing to be responsible for your decision. Because if you get homesick after 6, 9, 10 months, 12 months, and you say, my God, what have I done? It's going to be a bad place for you, Mark. It is going to be a bad place. And it may not happen. I hope it doesn't happen. Folks, what do you think? What would you tell Mark? What's he going to be looking forward to? Maybe that I haven't mentioned. You know, loneliness is a big thing. He didn't say if he was married or not. I don't know. Is he married? Does he have a partner? Somebody that's going to go with him out there? Or is he going to be going solo? What's your dream? Do you realize that your dream is it going to stay a dream like mine is, moving to the mountains of New Mexico? I wish it wasn't. I could do it. I could move to New Mexico. But my air conditioner would miss me. My swimming pool would miss me. And I would miss them. Finding purpose, finding meaning. That is the secret to happiness. At least I think it is. And an RV isn't going to make you happy. It will give you some purpose, though. I'll promise you that. You'll be working on things and tinkering on things, and you'll feel a sense of pride and satisfaction when you do it. You go, my God, I did that. I promise you, because if you don't, you're going to be taking it back to the shop or you're going to be paying some technician, and most things you can fix on your own. Does any of this make any sense, what I'm talking about? What would you tell Mark? What would you tell him? I've gone on probably a little bit too long today. But I don't know. I don't know. I see people making these huge decisions based upon what they see on Instagram or YouTube, and it's a fantasy. It's a good fantasy. It is. My fantasy about living in the mountains in a beautiful cabin and snow coming down and elk in the yard. Oh, I'm telling you, I got a good fantasy. But I don't want to ruin it by moving out there. I don't think. I can do it going out there for a week or two every summer. And then I can kind of keep that dream alive, and it's something to look forward to all the time. Anyway, thank you for spending some time with me today. I know this did not have anything to do really with RVing. Maybe it did, just a little bit, but more about life. This channel is important to me. It's important to me. It gives me purpose to give you some thoughts, to point you in a direction maybe, not give you the answers, but point you in a direction that I think is worth considering. That is, if you remember the words of Epictetus about, it's impossible for a man or a woman to learn something that they already know. And then I'm going to end it with another one. I've asked this in a lot of videos. It's a riddle. Why do we do what we do when we know what we know? Why do we do what we do when we know what we know? I know. Then why'd you do it? That's the paradox. I hope you got something out of this today. Please like the video, drop a comment down below, let Mark know what you would advise him to do, and, let me know what your fantasy is. Where would you like to live the rest of your days? In the mountains like me, or maybe down along a beautiful beach? I like the beach too, but I think the mountains for me are a little bit better of a fantasy. Thank you for watching. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman, reminding you to be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.